Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. About 21,000 police operatives to be deployed for Anambra governorship election on November 18th. The Niger Delta Avengers suspend ceasefire, vow to resume attacks on oil facilities in the region. Former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki testifies in the trial of Olisametu, says 400 million naira paid to the former PDP spokesperson follows due process. And the Syrian army retakes last major stronghold of terror group ISIS as Iraqi forces capture one of the last towns held by the group. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our websites, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Speaking of which, here are some of the pictures that you sent in today. Let's begin with this picture of the deplorable state of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway in Enugu State. Our Eyewitness reporter claims it is an unmotorable route and wants the government to come to their aid. Still on bad roads is this image from Ijesha in Itire, Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter says the road has damaged several vehicles that ply it. Our final picture is also from Lagos State, showing some youths hanging onto a moving vehicle along Oshodi area of the state. Our Eyewitness reporter describes this as a dangerous adventure. She wants the appropriate authorities to take a look at this. Thanks for sending in those pictures and please keep them coming. Switching over to Abuja now, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by with more on the news at 10. Hi, Ibrahim.
Hello, Marachi. Now, the former National Security Advisor to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, has told a federal high court sitting in Abuja that the sum of 400 million naira paid to Mr. Metu's company from his office in November 2014 followed due process. Colonel Dasuki, in his testimony before Justice Okonabang, defends his action on the ground that the transaction between his office as a National Security Advisor and Destro Investment Limited belonging to Mr. Olisametu is not an unlawful act. Speaking under cross-examination in the case of alleged laundering of 400 million naira by Olisametu, Colonel Dasuki explained to the court that he cannot recall the exact reason for the payment unless the Department of State Services allows him to go home and consult his records. The prosecutor expressed satisfaction with the testimony of Colonel Dasuki, while the lawyer to Mr. Metu applauds the witness statement for exonerating his client. The next trial hearing has been fixed for the 4th, 5th and 6th of December 2017.
The first defendant asking for an adjournment to enable Colonel Dasuki testify at a later date. The court delivered its judgment and dismissed that application. Following that, the witness stepped into the witness box, concluded his evidence, and we cross-examined him accordingly, and he has been discharged. So we expect them to bring in their next witness at the next sitting. The previous report by the bailiff was that they were unable to effect personal service of the subpoena on the former president. And it is expected that the defense lawyers should take appropriate steps to make sure that the witness is brought to court by the next adjourned date.
Sambo Dasuki came, and from his testimony, all necessary approvals were given for the transaction over which we are being charged. And he testified in line with the document tendered by the EFCC that there was maximum compliance with due process with respect to the transaction which gave rise to these suits. We called him to say exactly that. We had no interaction whatsoever with him, and he gave his evidence freely. We are satisfied with it. It now depends on what the learned trial judge makes out of it.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja has dismissed an application to quash the charges of conspiracy and kidnapping against suspected kidnap kingpin Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, also known as Evans. The accused person was brought to the court amid tight security, and his counsel Olukoya Ogungbeje told the trial judge, Justice Hakim Oshodi, that the application was premised on the fact that a similar charge of kidnapping was before Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo of the State High Court. But the prosecution counsel, Mr. Tilayo Shitabe, insists that the offense in the charge was committed in 2017, while the offense in the State High Court in Igbosh committed in 2013. She adds that the particulars of the case are different, the witnesses are also different, and so should be handled differently. The judge, however, ruled that the application lacked merit. The Lagos State government recently amended the charges against Evans, accusing him of conspiracy and kidnapping. He has pleaded guilty to the charges. He's also facing a different charge of murder, attempted murder, conspiracy and kidnapping at the Lagos State High Court, Igboshiri. Still in Lagos, the state government has approved the inauguration of 3 new arbitration centers to hasten speedy resolution of commercial conflict among business owners in Lagos State. The state governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, represented by Deputy Governor Oluronti Adebule, made this known at the annual conference of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators held in Lagos. Victor Edo was there and now reports.
In the course of doing business, conflicts may arise one way or another. How that conflict is resolved or handled may largely impact on the survival of the business relationship. Currently in Nigeria, there are 3 main methods of resolving commercial disputes: litigation, arbitration, and mediation or conciliation, also called alternative dispute resolution. And yes, strengthening the building blocks of arbitration in Nigeria is the reason lawyers, judges, and government officials are gathered here.
And the aim is to actually try and identify what are the challenges that we're facing and that is hindering Nigeria and Africa as a continent being recognized as an arbitration hub that investors will have confidence in when they have disputes.
The support of the judiciary is crucial, it's essential, it's integral to the success of arbitration and ADR.
To make ADR work effectively in Nigeria, a level of transparency is essential.
The expectation is that a seat of arbitration suggests a high level of efficiency, transparency, and credibility.
Therefore, it becomes a duty to ensure that Nigerian arbitration institutions continue to grow, and the ethos should be instilled in practitioners, particularly younger generation of arbitrators, to sustain high-level international standards.
The government also needs to create an enabling environment for ADR to thrive.
As a government, we are committed to expanding the ADR opportunities through the establishment of more centers in the state. I've approved the inauguration of 3 SCMS units, which should bring the total number to 18.
Suggestions here have been unanimous on one idea: making ADR work in Nigeria, majorly because of the benefits of saving business relationships and encouraging continued cordiality between parties. Victoria Ido, reporting for Channels Television News.
And for more reports on the news at 10, we return to Lagos, where Amarachi and the rest of the team is standing by.
That's right, Ibrahim. Back in Lagos, the Oil Producers Trade Section, an umbrella group for local and foreign-owned companies holding oil prospecting license and oil mining license, is celebrating its 55th anniversary in Nigeria. The 27-member OPTS, which has contributed immensely to the Nigerian economy, says it will continue to invest in the project, but would like to see more stable fiscals. At the occasion, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, said the federal government is working on new policies for the sector.
This is perhaps the largest gathering of oil and gas producers in Nigeria, and they have come to celebrate 55 years of collaboration under the aegis of Oil Producers Trade Section, OPTS, a subgroup within the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
The option has to be really helpful.
OPTS has been among the foremost and most supportive groups in the chamber. This is not just because of their overall contributions to the Nigerian economy, but also valuable contributions to the progress of the LCCI.
Despite the challenging environment, the security and the environmental circumstances we find ourselves, we have contributed significantly to the development of Nigeria. Our industry is also proud to have contributed tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars to the Nigerian government at all levels in taxes, levies, royalties, rents, and licenses.
OPTS member companies in partnership with NNPC generate about 80% of Nigeria's total annual revenue. So their celebration is honored with the presence of the Vice President, who made pronouncements on government's plan for the industry.
We have developed and obtained the approval of the Federal Executive Council for a new national oil and gas policy, and a new fiscal policy has been developed, and its approval by FEC is underway.
The industry and investment is still heavily challenged by fiscals, obsolete laws, burdened by a lot of legislative uncertainties and ambiguity, but it seems there is hope in the horizon.
The Petroleum Industry Administration Bill will be finalized in about 2 weeks from now, and will be available for the public hearing.
Aside the collective concerns raised on operating environment, the occasion also witnessed the recognition of some distinguished members and the cutting of anniversary cake. Nigeria is a resource-rich based province, and for a long time to come, oil will remain a key part of the revenue base. Ironically, we will need oil to get out of oil. OPTS wants to continue its giant role.
One of the major international oil companies in Nigeria's up and downstream sector, Shell Petroleum, in collaboration with the Ogun State government, has flagged off a 2-day community health program themed Health in Motion. At the flag-off ceremony in Ogijo, Ogun State, the regional community health manager of Shell Petroleum, Dr. Kiwumi Fajola, explains that the program is to ensure that primary health care service gets to the doorsteps of residents of the community.
For 60 years, beyond energy development, Shell Petroleum is also committed to ensuring that many communities across Nigeria get access to quality healthcare delivery. Shell Petroleum, in collaboration with Ogun State government, flags off the rehabilitation of a healthcare center in Ogijo community in Ogun State. Shell Petroleum is not leaving anything to chance at ensuring it brings quality healthcare services to the doorsteps of the people of Ogijo through the distribution of free insecticide-treated mosquito nets for pregnant women and children, first aid boxes, and free medical screening.
The Health in Motion program is therefore part of SPDC's commitment to the improvement of lives of Nigerians by taking free medical services to the doorsteps of the people.
We have established the community-based health insurance scheme called Araya, and what we've done with Araya is that we've gone across the borders of the state, and we have implemented this insurance scheme. We have it for our pregnant women free of charge. We also have it for our children 0 to 5 years of age.
That's not all. The Ogun State government also brings its community health insurance scheme to them as pregnant women and children up to 5 years get free health access cards.
We are partnering with government, supporting the government to bridge the gaps in health service delivery in the country.
The population of Ogijo is about 1 million, as was mentioned earlier on, and the health center would be able to provide primary health services, including obstetric care, to the people in this community.
With this gesture, the collaboration between Shell Petroleum Development Company and the Ogun State government is without doubt a visible testimony of an effective public-private initiative that will change the lots of the people, particularly in the primary health care delivery.
When the News at 10 returns, Diamond Banks has shut down operations in 4 West African countries. We'll have more on business news. Join us again.